All right, guys. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It is hump day here on Ray of Light Tarot, and I am coming on a little later than I normally do, guys. Normally, you guys are used to seeing me come on around 9, sometimes 9:30, especially on hump days. That's my usual schedule, but I did have something that came up earlier tonight that kind of threw off the schedule. As I told you, we're in the middle of finalizing a sale on some property, and so it's requiring a little bit of extra time out of me that I'm not used to having to sacrifice from the channel. So anyway, I'm glad to be here with you guys tonight. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I'm super excited to be here. Hey guys, hey. So I do have a list that I'm carrying over from last night, but it's just 3 people. And so if anyone else wants to be added, the list is open. We're just going to keep it the same thing going as we've been doing this week, the $22.22 readings. So we will carry it over like we've been doing. But right now I'm going to get started on the list from last night, the 3 people from last night, which was Deborah, Shannon, and Greta. Before I do that, though, because I know I'm coming on at a later time than normal, I'm also going to go ahead and do a little energy check-in and see what's happening with the collective. Okay, so let's check on that real quick. Yes, hi Greta. Let's check on that real quick and get some good info on that. Where are my glasses? There they are. Just wanted to say I love you. I love you. You double love me, so that's pretty special. Thank you. Oh, that's very sweet, Mary. Thank you so much. I appreciate you telling me that. Okay, so here we go. Hello, Felicia. All right. I just want to do a check-in because it has been, at least for me in my meditative times, it's been a really interesting time for, I think, a lot of us on hardcore, I don't want to say enlightening spiritual journeys, hardcore enlightening spiritual journeys, since this Lionsgate energy has really been in our awareness. Hey Millie, hey Karunch, there you are. I haven't seen you in a while, Karunch. Good to see you. I don't think I have you on my list. No. Hey cutie. Yeah, so guys, the list is open, but I am working from the one that I've got 3 people from last night. Anyone else who wants to get on there, just send over your Cash App. It's $ Ray of Light Tarot. $ Ray of Light Tarot. And it's $22.22. So let's check in on the collective and just see what's going on, and then that'll just be it real quick, and then I'll get right onto these minis. Feminine. Wow. Thank you. Oh, 2. Okay. Okay. So 2 cards are, I'm getting, this is interesting. The feminine, masculine energies, very similar to what they were the other night. So for the divine feminine, we have the brown bear spirit. So a little bit of brown bear medicine in your life, feminines. You've got card number 9, and it says take time out. So again, and I like I said, guys, this feels very similar to what we were getting for the feminines a few days ago. There's this energy of deep transformation on a soul level, okay? Where it's coming from, thank you, Mystic. It's coming from a deep place. It's coming from a place of, this feels like hard work. So that's why it's saying take time out. That's why the most obvious message from the card is take time out, because it feels like a lot of this is hard work. So I'm not talking about being physically exhausted. I'm talking about the exhaustion that comes from doing, like when I talk to you guys about an energy drain, it's a spiritual energy drain that feels very different from, does any of you, you know what I mean? For those of you who, for example, work in front of a computer screen all day, You know how your eyes get to a point after you've been staring at a computer screen all day that they start crossing almost? And that exhaustion is very different. It's exhaustion, but it's very different from the exhaustion you might feel from working out at a gym for the first time in a year when you haven't. They're both forms of exhaustion, but they're not the same. This is a physical versus a spiritual. You've got this brown bear spirit. Physically, you're strong. I mean, look at that brown bear. Physically, you are strong. But your soul, your spiritual agility is a little bit off right now. That's why you need to take some time to yourself. Remember, you were getting that energy, similar energy about just doing a deep dive and needing to really sort of honor that. Put that in a place where it's respected. So you have this for the feminines, and then the masculines, masculine side of this, the rabbit spirit. So I really feel like the masculines are going to have a Midas touch really soon. And that goes along with what came through in the animal spirit oracle the other day for me was a lot of the masculines may be dealing with energies around them that they are trying to move out of their life, which is, that's kind of an obvious, very surface thing for me to read and pick up on, because a lot of masculines, even just from your stories, a lot of masculines are in situations with karmic partners or someone that they're married to, that they're in the process of divorcing. They're usually in these situations that are not really where they feel is their soul's purpose, but they feel stuck in these situations. So there is that aspect of it, but this is representing a time that they're moving into very quickly, where they're going to be prosperous, and it's a lucky time. See, it says now is a lucky time. Well, it can and should be lucky, and it's the Midas touch. Whatever they touch is going to multiply. But that's why it's very important for them to move away from the energy that they were feeling stuck in. If they're staying in that stuck energy with karmics, they're going to be touching and multiplying things that are not good for them. So this is an energy that's a really beautiful energy, but it's a really dangerous energy for the masculine if they're not moving away from that karmic. Because if they're staying in sort of that bound energy with the karmic, they're going to be multiplying and building things in their life. It's like building a spider's web of things that are going to be equally bound to that relationship. They can be very toxic. So this is a great card for them if it's coming after what most of them are doing the last time we checked in, which was really moving into a space where they're learning to separate from those energies which are not good for them or serving them, including those of their own. So that's a good card. All right, and then the two together, we've got two cards that came out: Swan Spirit Deep Dive and Electric Eel Spirit, bringing your ideas to life. I am not used to two cards coming out for the reflection of the relationship as a whole, but I can see completely why they did. These two cards are telling me the story in a very quick and efficient way. There's a deep dive happening for the connection itself, which means for a lot of divine partnerships, it's not going to happen tomorrow, the union. It's just not, because first what's got to go, it's like that being tested like gold in a furnace right now. There's a deep dive, but what's happening really quickly attached to this deep dive is we're going up to the surface, right? We're coming back up into friendly waters and electrifying the physical realm. So although there may not be union right here within your reach for a lot of you, you're going to be feeling it. You're getting to the point, and I've talked to you guys before, where you have to kind of feel it before you actually experience it, which a lot of people are like, well, that seems so counterintuitive to life. No, this is exactly the way it is. You feel it, and then you experience it. And that's what's happening here is you're going to start, when you get to this sort of electric eel energy about bringing your ideas to life, is the sort of surface message here. What it's doing is I was seeing the water lighting up. It's like the result of the sort of healing that's taking place from this energy. And these are both sort of together. They're happening simultaneously right now and in the very near future for these connections. everything in your world. It's like we've been in a movie theater or a Broadway show when the lights are going down and nothing's quite happening yet, and then that moment when the stage lights up and the curtains go up and everything comes alive. If you're going to see something, that's very sort of one of those shows that are just that just hit you, a musical like with it right from the start. That's the difference in energy that we see as this happens. And so you're going to know if this is you, you're going to know it, and it's going to feel amazing. And so if you're not quite in that energy yet because you're still spiritually feeling like, oh my God, I can't take this, don't be surprised when suddenly that deep dive turns into this just electric atmosphere of creation, and know that it's because of the work you've put in. So it's very exciting, guys. This is very, very exciting energy, and it's something that I am looking forward to, and I hope you are too. Okay? Hey, y'all from Alabama, USA, 10 p.m. Nice, Mystic. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, it's nice. I normally come on a little earlier, but it is nice because being on here just a little later than normal, at least I get to see the people who don't always catch me at 9. So that's cool. Again, Shannon, go ahead and put, I don't know, is Deb here from last night also? Shannon, go ahead and put your, yes, like Shin Yu, the plague. Okay, there you go. Wait, Shin Yu. I thought you were saying something else. I was going to say, Mary, do you have a sister named Wendy? Because Wendy is in Jai's broadcast a lot, or used to be. I don't really go in there anymore because I mean, not purposely that I don't go in there. I'm just never seem to be plugged into my YouTube. I think my notifications are off on YouTube or something. Lots of ideas. Oh, I like it. I like it. Yeah, so guys, the list is open. If you want to get a reading tonight, it's $22.22. We're open for biz, and you can just send it over to the Cash App at $ Ray of Light Tarot, and we will get you added. There's just Deborah and Greta tonight so far. Welcome, Mary, to your first live, and you get to do it on a Wednesday, which is a hump day, so it's always a little bit fun energy here on a hump day. A late night edition hump day nonetheless. Okay. Good energy for Shannon right now. Lots of ideas. We like that. Well, and I'll tell you, Shannon, I think that's common, the sort of lack of focus. I've been feeling a little bit of that too, kind of ADD with my energies and ideas, but not necessarily in a bad way. So don't worry if that may not be just specific to you as well. But we'll see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. I want my, yeah, Arcanum. No. Sorry, guys. I thought I was going to use one deck, and now I want to use a different one. Okay, so for you, Shannon, I'm using the Millennium Thoth deck, and it's this one. So for those of you who are interested, people always want to know what deck. Millennium Thoth, or Thoth, or Toth if you don't pronounce the H. Y'all get it. What's the guidance for Shannon at this time regarding her perceived lack of direction? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel. Ancestors, spirit guides, spiritual team. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't be too hard on yourself, Shannon. Okay, I want you to. I'm getting a vision of you, kind of like listening to a song, just kind of doing your thing, relaxing out on that porch. Try to keep giving yourself the best of that, because going through the motions isn't going to serve you right now, especially if you're in that energy of kind of not able to focus. Go with that energy. You know what I mean? I've learned to, even when I'm in energy like that, to just kind of go with it, see where it takes you, right? Because if we get down on ourselves about it, or we get frustrated about it, we're in a sense, to a certain extent, when we do that, we're denying that we are where we're supposed to be. And I know I do that a lot. I get kind of hard on myself. That doesn't, and it's not even hard on myself. I get kind of okay, we've got to get out of this energy. This is not working, and it's maybe not working. But instead of trying to get out of it or trying to change it, just kind of let it kind of come over you and see what it's trying to show you. You have the Ion here, the Judgment card. There's that resurrection happening of the Phoenix. So you're going through a great sort of, for some reason, the word recovery is coming in for you, Shannon. So if you're going through this great recovery, hey, Valerie, hey, Mystic, I already said hey to you. If you're going through this great recovery, it's not necessarily, it is a resurrection, right? I mean, if you look at somebody who's in recovery, whether it's from a disease, from an accident, right? Whatever it's from, a recovery is sort of a resurrection, right? It's a new life. And this recovery for you, it's kind of going into your astral plane and doing some work in there and then letting it. What I'm seeing from this card and feeling about it is you're reaching up, you're doing some work up there, and then these stars start sort of falling from the sky and impacting your sort of new earth. So that sounds really kind of out there, eclectic, very different. But what it is to me is it is about the changes that you need to make, and I know that you're having trouble focusing on them, but it's because you're not really at a place where it's time. It may feel like time because you've got a lot of that urgency within you here, but these things are going to come to you when it's time. And right now there's still a lot of work being done in other dimensions that are going to assist right here. The best thing you can do right here is continue to be sort of an observer, keep a positive attitude. There still are changes within your, because where you are, it is saying you are sort of this resurrected animal here. And if that's you, then there are still things that you're trying to decide. What's happening is you're rising up right now and you're still trying to decide, do I bring this or leave it? It's like you're packing. That's why your energy's all over the place, because you're packing for something. It's like packing for a trip or a move and trying to decide, take it or toss it. Do I take or do I toss? And so everything in your life, there's this energy of take or toss right now, and that can be very frustrating. That can sort of throw your focus off, and it can get you frustrated. So understand, oh, I'm in take or toss. I would even kind of call it that. Oh, I'm in take or toss mode. It's not that I'm not able to focus or that my focus is off. It's I'm getting into take or toss mode, and I need to understand and remind myself that nothing is, urgent. Everything's happening as it's supposed to, and that it's okay to be in this kind of mode. You've got the Eight of Cups as your overall energy. You are walking away from a lot of things, right? You are tossing a lot of things. You're not taking a lot of things with you this go around, this cycle. And look at this, your guidance. Queen, I mean, could this be any more obvious? Queen of Swords, Eight of Cups, the Ion. There's that energy of moving on, moving forward, but you've still got another major arcana here, the Hanged Man. So like I said, it's tough because on the one hand, you are making all these changes and moving on and doing this stuff, but on the other hand, you're kind of being held in place right now for the right moment. That enlightenment's got to come in, okay? And it hasn't fallen down completely. Enlightenment fall down upon us, and we're like, woo, I got it, yes, yes. When I sort of had what I would refer to as my spiritual awakening a couple of years ago, back in 2017, late 2017, I was like getting it, and by early 2018, I was like, I got this. I've had all of these amazing sort of epiphanies and inexplainable things happen, beautiful. I'm like on the runway going, and then between now and then, what I've come to learn is that was just such a small piece of it. There's so much more to come, and before you feel like you got this, you actually end up feeling like, I don't even have a clue about getting this. This is overwhelming. I am back to square one. That excitement that comes with the awakening subsides, and you start to realize, it was beautiful to get that peace, but really what I've gotten is a lot more questions and a lot more frustration. I feel like you're coming toward that type of energy. And so what's happening is you're going to get this beautiful descending of the energy you need right at that moment. But you're being called to be a little patient right now, Shannon. You've got the Seven of Pentacles. You just have to be patient because where you are, you're gonna be tossing, lack of focus. What I will say, looking at all these things though, is with Queen of Swords, you're definitely being guided not to be too sentimental right now. To just be willing to sort of be that strong, decisive leader in your life. Don't be afraid to slice and dice things and toss them out. Okay, it's really important. It's really important to be able to slice, dice, cut things out. You know, I mean, look at how strong the Queen of Swords is. A strong energy all the time, but you can use the, if you want to get on the list tonight, we'll talk in a second. It's a strong energy all the time, but look at this card. This card is like, I don't think I've ever seen the Queen of Swords this decisive, right? I mean, she didn't only slice someone, she didn't only do the off with your head thing. She's like sitting now on her throne with the sword she used and the head in her hand, holding it by its hair. His hair, I should say. But that's pretty decisive of like, okay, I don't have trouble making decisions and I don't have trouble standing by them. So you are being guided to be more decisive, but that's not a guidance that requires you to think about anything. That's Spirit saying the lack of focus, that's okay, but just when things come to you, just decide and go. Decide and go. Don't sit and analyze too much. You're going to know in your gut what to do, and the analyzing is almost like that desire or that feeling of need to go and sort of try to think more about something. That's a darkness coming over you that you don't want to allow to take hold. That's the dark energy trying to sort of pull you down. Your light is saying, you know what's wrong, what's right. You don't really even need to worry about, is this the right thing? Is that the right thing? You will intuitively know, and so you can just be very, very decisive. Now, having said that, you do have that resurrected energy, that sort of recovery energy like I talked about, and the Hanged Man. So there's two things happening at once, and it's important to be patient, especially with the Seven of Pentacles and the Hanged Man, and just trust that knowing. Those confirm that you're going to know when it's time to really plug in completely. And that's the time when you just got to start using that machete and going through and not really stopping to question yourself. Okay. But if you're having a lot of that take versus toss mentality right now and lack of focus, that's okay. I would be like that too. And I am a lot. And I've learned to really go, okay, let me give into this for a minute and see where it takes me. Okay, Shannon, I hope that helps. That reading felt a little bit tough to give you because there's not a lot of answers, but I think that the answer is pretty clear for now. And it's a tough one, but you're getting there. You're getting there. So good luck. Next on my list, I don't know, is Deb here? I appreciate you too. Thank you. Is Deb here? Oh, Caressa, what I was going to say, guys, try not to comment too much during the actual reading for a person because it throws me off. As you saw, I was reading your comment which I'm so sorry, Shannon. It's very rude to the person who I'm trying to read for, and it's not your fault. But guys, think about that when you're typing. That I might see your comment and it might totally distract me from the connection. So, what I was going to say, Caressa, you can also go ahead and send if you want to send. No, it's okay. Like I said, it's not your fault really because you didn't know, but. Just try to keep that in the back of your mind, especially if it's about like getting a reading or something that I need to address. You can pay through the Cash App that I list the Cash App is for United States. For people out of the country, you can pay for via the PayPal, Facebook, Cash App, blah, 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 too many apps. PayPal. I list that for personal readings, it's the nhjoost92@gmail.com. If you want to get a reading that a mini reading, you can pay that way as well. I just don't list that, and I don't offer it unless it's a night where I'm, expecting to stay on for a while and open it up to more people. But that's okay. There's not really many people. I don't have anyone else, I don't think, that sent a Cash App. Has anyone else sent a Cash App to get on the list? Because we're about to move on to nobody after Greta. Greta, let's get your question up. And then, yeah, the list is open, guys. If you would like to get a reading. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I didn't see it come through. Oh, there they are. Okay. I do have notifications, but when I'm plugged, because I'm just on my phone, when I'm plugged in, I don't always see them come through. I have to sometimes actually go out. Got it. Yes, no, I didn't forget you, Mystic. Oh, no. Mystic, are you just, because you're not actually on the list. I was thinking you were Greta. So Greta, you're Royal Duchess, correct? And then Carl's and Carunch. Let me make sure I can verify you guys. And then Mystic. Oh, you were just saying sorry for yakking. No, again, and guys, don't be apologetic for just chatting. That's fine. I don't turn the chat off or anything like that. Or it's just when it comes, the only time I get a little bit, I feel bad if I'm doing a reading, because doing these mini like this where we're Republic, it's a different energy, because I still have to be empathic. I still have to be plugged in to do the reading for the person. But when I'm plugged in like that, if someone was to come in and be like, oh my God, I just lost somebody, I'm so sad, I would pick up that energy really quickly. And so reading it's right there, and it's not just, I'm not just reading it. It actually kind of affects me in weird ways, if you think about it, guys. And so just try to consider that, like, this person's literally doing something that requires them to sort of open themselves up. Not just, we call it spiritual, but it's like I have to open up my heart space, my emotions, to what that other person I'm reading for is feeling. And so when that person was like, it's a bummer I'm not here, like, able, and I know that it wasn't like sad, but I was feeling like I have to fix their problem. My energy was like, oh no, that person can't, I have to try to fix their problem. You know what I mean? So I want to avoid that when I'm doing lives for people, because sometimes I'll be doing it and I'll be kind of rude to people. I'll be like, no comments, please, while I'm doing this, but I want people to understand that's why. It's not because I'm trying to be a dick, Okay. Yes, no problem, guys. Okay, so let me get on to this with Greta. Direction of your romantic relationship, what direction they should go in. Okay, haven't been able to connect. Okay, so let's see what comes through for you then. So you said you're having trouble in the 5D connecting to someone specific, but you can feel them. Like you feel a person strongly, but you're having trouble when you attend. That's the thing. I will tell you guys, don't try to connect. You don't need connections that are worth putting any kind of interest into. You don't have to try to connect. In fact, usually it's to the point where it's like you kind of wish. That's why people run from these connections. Like, there's usually a runner, and sometimes both people take turns being runners, because you can't disconnect. And the feelings are intense. Like, it's too painful to communicate something. It's hard to explain. It's just too painful. Yeah, I'm not only do I not chase anymore, I'm kind of running, because to the extent that I don't even want to know about that person or what's going on with them. I just don't want to know. It's too painful to even experience the connection sometimes. I wish the best. Happiness, love, joy, all those good things. All them good things. What's the guidance for Greta regarding her situation? In love, guys. Okay. Wow. Ooh. Okay. I hate this kind of reading because I don't want to encourage this. So you've got a tough situation here. On the one hand, okay, Mary, hey, Deb. Oh, there's Deb. On the one hand, you've got a strong connection because the lovers is a major arcana. And listen, the lovers can represent decisions, like choosing this over that, because there's that duality. This is the Gemini card. And any of you who have been in a close relationship with a Gemini knows that from one minute to the next, they're two different people. They literally are two different people. It's cuckoo, you know what I mean? And I've got Gemini ascendant, so I'm a person who can sometimes seem cuckoo to you. Like, wait, are you this person or are you that person? Who's the real you? You know, it's that strong. But it's not what it's about in this kind of reading. What this is really about for you is a confirmation that this is a soul connection that's strong. You don't need to try to connect to this person in the 5D. You just don't need to try. When you stop trying, they'll be right back in your dreams. They'll be, you'll start to remember, oh, okay. In fact, almost, it's amazing. Just don't even try. Don't worry about it. It's there. But it also does tell me this is your near future. You do have a decision to make regarding this person. And it feels like it's about not chasing. And part of chasing is, in the 5D, going after this person, right? It's part of chasing is sort of trying to fix whatever in the 5D, trying to do the work to make this thing work. Anything associated with this connection, you just want to remember every time they come to your mind, send them love, send them healing, and keep it moving, right? You don't need to do anything or chase, because there's a thing I call like energetic chasing, spiritual chasing. And that's kind of hard not to do, where, you're doing things with the intent to help that connection get better. That's not so much a good idea, guys. We want to work on our own self and on our own balance and alignment. But that connection is already better. It's already perfect if it's that type of soul counterparts, right? It's already all good. It's you that has to heal. When you heal, so will they. And then the connection will be what it's allowed to be in the 3D eventually. So what I do see for you, though, is this person's not the most advanced. They're kind of they're in an interesting energy with the Prince of Pentacles here, because they have this person has a lot going on. There's a lot of weird energy here. I pick up on the fact that they do have a strong desire to be what you need them to be. They also have a lot of passion that sort of stops them up. They've got like that, you can see that bull. It's like that bull when they're sort of doing that thing with their hoof and they're about to run through the red cape, like you see in Spain at the bull rings or bullfights. There's that. And then there's also this energy. Look, this person is completely naked. Not bad looking, if I do say so myself, okay? But they're completely naked. Now that is brave, right? Except for their headwear. But I digress. The point is, you can feel this person's energy is a little bit like, it's like little Lord Fauntleroy. This person's like, oh, I am the ish, and you need to know it. But then at the same time, they're completely a hot mess, right? And a lot of times we're attracted to that energy of a hot mess. Someone who's, adorable in their vulnerability, but also needs to mature quite a bit because they're kind of selfish. But we want to help them mature. We want to help them be more, less selfish in their love and more of a good person who tries to help. And if you're dealing with somebody like that and they run from you, you kind of have to go like, oh, well, that person's going to run. Doesn't mean they don't love me, but they love me only to the extent that they're capable of loving, which isn't really that much. Because love is an action, not a feeling. It's an action. It's this person. I just can't. Okay. No, just so we're clear, Greta, I'm not talking about your partner when I'm saying like this person. I'm talking about just this image in this card is funny to me. It's not your person that I'm making fun of. It's just that card is so funny to me the way it looks. But you have very clear guidance in this. I mean, we just talked about this Queen of Swords. Decisive, off with the head, don't look back. Does that mean that you're supposed to kill this relationship energetically once and for all? No, not at all. It means you're supposed to kill your ability to run back to this person or chase this person, right? Because if we cut someone's head off, that means they're dead in the 3D. So the only connection that exists is outside of the physical realm we're in here. So we have no power to do anything about it then. It's totally trust in spirit then, totally trust in our higher power for this to work out the way it's supposed to. And until you relinquish that trust completely, it's going to be a tough go for you. You've got the Ten of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. So this is your overall energy right now. You're still stuck in a painful cycle. It's over. I feel like this cycle is completely over, but you're still kind of stuck in it. It's hard to let those cycles go, not because we're obsessive compulsive, but because, here's why it's hard to let these cycles go. Because after something painful happens with someone we love, we regret it. We feel sad and we regret what happened. Whether it's our fault or not doesn't matter. There's a regret attached to whatever events led to it. And so with regret, that means we think that we wish we could go back and change something. We can't. So what does it mean when we have regret? We're not accepting that everything in this universe, multiverse, happens the way it's supposed to. And even when it feels like it's not, it's still being dealt with properly. Trust in the things you can't see. Think of all the organisms, the microorganisms it takes to keep your physical body machine running. There's a lot of pieces at work here that we, you and I, and the people we see have nothing to do with and aren't in control of. Trust in that. Trust in the fact that it's going to be okay. Everything happened how it's supposed to. If you want to help this along, let it just fall apart to the point that it's dead. Don't worry about it. Don't focus on it. Find a hobby that takes you away from that energy completely. That's what will allow it to be what it's supposed to be. Not, I think it's this, I trust it's this, let me keep getting readings about it. And that's true, guys. That's not going to get it to where you need to be. It's okay. Like I think of as a reader myself, because I needed readings at one time. I think of myself as a triage nurse at a hospital. Think about what they do. They triage you. They assess your situation, what you've been through, where you're at, and then they say, okay, you need to go to this part of the hospital. You need to see the doctor. A triage takes you, assesses you, and then sends you in another direction. So I think of a reader as a triage if they're doing their job properly. They check your situation out. They tell you what you need to know about the person, the relationship, the situation, whatever you're asking, and then they send you to move on. So if you're staying in place getting another reading to sort of get more, but can you remind me of what you said? Because basically that's what you're doing. If you get a second, third, fourth reading, you're basically saying to the person, could you remind me what you said again? It means you're not trusting. The best thing is to remind yourself what that is and then go and do whatever work you have to do next, because we all get stuck and we don't want anyone getting stuck. So remember this for everyone, not just Greta. This is for everyone and Greta, but remember when it gets difficult, what I'm telling you, that you've already been given clear guidance from Spirit, which is slice and dice and keep it moving. And it's not about if you really truly love this person, you got to let it go so it can become what it's meant to be. Don't try to connect. You're already connected. You've got the Lover's card here. You're already connected. You don't have to try. Trust. Trust with a capital T. Remind yourself that. Trust with a capital T. And I'm not saying, guys, trust in some person who hurt you. Yeah, you can trust that they'll probably hurt you again. Trust in your higher power, and that connection will teach you what it's supposed to teach you or be what it's supposed to be. And you do the allowing and just waiting and seeing what it is. Not to be complacent, keep doing your work, but just trust, okay? Because the reason I say that is the person who runs, the person who says, I don't want anything to do with you, leave me alone, go away from me, they're the ones that need to be taking action, not the ones who were left, okay? And it doesn't mean that there aren't apologies to go around or things that need to be made right. But first and foremost, if someone commands you in some way to leave them alone, you have to just leave them alone. And if they get to a place where they are caring or mature enough to deal, then you deal. But for you, it's such a strong energy, this card. I just want you to fall into that and take it and run with it, okay? And when you get a little sad or you get a little hesitant, just remember you have the Lover's card in this connection. That's a strong, really good energy, okay? Alrighty, alrighty. Good luck with that, Greta. And so ghosting like that after he says he wants something is his way of saying, hey, I just want to see how shitty I can treat you and get away with it. How crappy can I treat you and get away with it? This is what I'm doing here. Any other thing I tell you is just an excuse. And it's me looking to see if you'll treat me like my mommy and, wipe my hiney as an adult. No, that is not acceptable. That is not acceptable. Ghosting, to me, when I hear that word ghosting, do you know what I think of? I think of teenagers. I think of children. That's what teenagers do, is ghost people. See, the world we're supposed to live in, just because, and guys, just because even a lot of the adults now choose to live in their own childish heads and worlds because they become so cut off from interacting, doesn't mean that we all have to. I don't live in that world of ghosting. If you're going to know, like, I'm going to tell you what's up. And then, I just think that's so, and then it goes beyond, because what that person's doing to you is telling you one thing and then ghosting you. So they're getting, that's a whole messy emotional situation and game. And look, before you even started talking about this person's ghosting you, look what Spirit's telling you to do. So remember, if you don't do what you're being guided to do, and of course, connect and consult your conscience. If your conscience is telling you something other than what I'm telling you, by all means, go with your own conscience. But this feels pretty clear. And I'm not saying to go out and hurt. This is not a physical thing. We're talking about energetic ties. I'm not looking for like what was that girl's, the one who went and like cut Lorena Bobbitt? She went and cut off her husband's sexual organs. No, we're talking about literally freeing yourself from the bonds of trying to fix something that isn't your responsibility to fix. So it is ghosting, trauma bonding. That's what it is. I'm currently separating from my husband and finally told a longtime friend how I felt. Good. Keep looking for things that are feeding your spirit, situations, connections that are feeding your spirit and are mutual, right? Where you give and receive mutually. I know, like, that's the thing with my twin soul, and I don't like to go into my personal stuff very often, but this is important for you to hear. With my twin soul, when we are in a good place, everything is 100% mutual. Because I don't do that with people. I don't do like, oh, I'm gonna give you way more than you give me. It's mutual, And when it gets a little unbalanced, if it does, then you have to pull back from that. But when the person does something like runs, or when you do something, because we're all 50-50, and then someone runs from it, that's a sign that you're doing something wrong, or they are, or both of you. And so look for what am I not doing properly in this connection? What am I doing to push myself away from myself? Why am I not loving myself? Okay. Scotty, what's up? Welcome. Okay, let's do Carl Z. And then Carl Z, and then it was... Hang on one second. Crunch. Hang on one sec, guys. I've got David L. Is that Crunch? Are you? I thought it came under Crunch. David L. Oh, thank you, Alexa. Very sweet of you. Yes, that's me, David. Okay, so I've got Carly. Go ahead, Carly, and then you're next after that, David. Carly and David. Hello in Sweden. Very nice. I'm ready for this COVID to go away so I can take a trip and get up out of here. Pretty much everywhere I would go right now would make me quarantine for 2 weeks. Oh, Deb, I'm sorry. I thought you weren't here for so long. Well, I will be back probably Friday night, so we'll put you at the top of the list for Friday. Good night. Have a good night, sweetheart. Good to see you. Yeah, it's okay. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Okay. And I don't really know where to go from. Okay, let's see. You're welcome. Have a good night, Jeb. What's the guidance for Carly? Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Wow, you've got some beautiful things coming for you. But the first card that came out is Queen of Swords. So this situation you've recently experienced, it's a lesson in knowing how. This is all about getting to what you want by learning what you don't want. And this is about learning what you absolutely don't want. And it's got to do with uncertainty or someone who's not sure. And when someone is not sure, they're out. They're out onto the next person. So you've got that. In the moment you really step into that Queen of Swords energy is when beautiful things happen. Then you've got this Ace of Pentacles coming in, this reset, which is really beautiful. And the reset, yeah, that's you then. There she is, Queen of Swords. The reset is really beautiful because I feel this Ace of Pentacles is in reverse in your present energy. But I feel the minute you really get into that Queen of Swords energy and embrace that Libra energy that allows you to do that, this is going to become upright. And that's when you start a new beginning down. In one of my decks, the Ace of Pentacles has a yellow brick road path. So you get on that yellow brick road onto your destiny, because then you've got, look, Ace of Cups, the Chariot, Queen of Cups. So by that strong showing of cutting things out which aren't serving you now and getting into that sort of warrior mode, Queen of Swords energy, it allows you to transform back into the Queen of Cups just in time for this sort of new love that's coming in. And it could be someone who is a Cancer, because it's a lot of water energy and the Chariot is Cancer energy, or someone who has a strong Cancer placement. Cancer is a beautiful energy for someone, especially a partner to have. My moon is in Cancer, and that's Cancer's natural home is the moon. And so it's all about being very intuitive and really understanding emotions. But this is about you moving forward in a very strong way and in balance, right? Your sort of shadow self is in balance with you, right? And it's all happening, I see, as the result of this. So I do think it's not there's no Sag energy here at all, right? There's no fire Sag energy in this reading. So it's definitely not a maybe thing. It's definitely a thing that whatever went weird with that Sag, out. And you've got to move forward, because the moment you embrace that energy fully, not kind of, sort of, not I'm trying to be, you embrace that energy fully, it's like you're just moving from one, it's like going through a doorway, because you've got this is pretty special. I mean, this is really special. So it's time to do that. And don't hesitate. Like, you can see what's coming. This is all beautiful stuff. This is love. This is like being fulfilled, and it's a gift of Source is gifting you with a new beginning in love. But to get there, you have to first step into your power, right? That self-value has to come first, foremost. And the minute you step into that, it's like you're then ready. And it won't be perfect. No relationship is perfect, but to you, it'll probably seem perfect, right? It will feel perfect. Okay, because it's like nothing you've probably ever experienced before. So that is what I would say to do. Queen of Swords, the last two, your guidance is so strong and clear with the Queen of Swords, guys. Don't be afraid to embrace this tough energy. But again, it's not about going out and actually knifing somebody. That's not what it's about. It's literally, and I know you guys know that, but it just, when I see that head in her hand, I mean, that's pretty extreme. That's graphic. That's graphic, but it's an important thing to understand, because that's how seriously important it is to put yourself first, okay? And to know that It's time to cut out any ties that bind you and claim your independence. But not just your independence, your self-worth. Okay, good luck, Carly. Karunch, where are you? David. Karunch or David? Welcome. Appreciate you too. I appreciate you a lot too. All of you guys. What it is, David? The question. I'm going to go ahead and close the list for tonight, guys. David. Crunch. I'm a Cancer dealing with a new Virgo. Feel this really, yeah, I bet. I guess I'm trying to figure out if we're going to work out like I think we are. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm in a chill mode right now because I don't have, it only really bothers me when I have people waiting behind the person. And I think we don't. So Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie Sink? What's the outlook for Karanch, David, with this new Virgo? Wow, Two of Cups, the Ion. Well, your hope or sort of sense is really on point. Okay, I see that. That's interesting. You have to, don't let your, here's the thing. You've got a great, look, you've got really good energy for this connection. You've got the Two of Cups, so that's a strong connection right there. That could be anywhere from destiny, soulmates, twin souls, high level, soul partners, divine partnerships, counterparts, whatever words fit, to someone who will end up being one of just like a really close friend, but it's a soul connection. This is a soul-based connection, heart space. The hearts connect in a beautiful way. And then you also have the Ion. So that's that resurrection from the dead, that rising up. What this is saying is this relationship is allowing you to come back to life. And I remember that I felt that way with my twin soul. The friendship we had was just so deep. When it's a beautiful thing. And it's one thing, we all have a lot of cool, great friends in our life that we laugh with and, that they're like our A spot. But it's different when you meet someone and you feel and sense each other's everything, laughter, pain, experience, so that you can laugh and have a good time, but you also have this connection in the heart space that at 1 o'clock, if something's really upsetting you to the point that you can barely breathe, you can be there for them. That's what this is like. It's awakening you because you sense each other's everything, and it's strong. So this feels like a really good connection, but it may take time to get there. So just know there's some things we got to talk about real quick on the sort of on the side stuff that you don't want to creep in and be in the middle. But I would say just let this unfold at its own pace. The reason I mentioned twin souls with this is because anytime a connection wakes you up like that, bam, where you were literally kind of a sleepwalker and then you're awake because of the person and it prompts you to sort of change your life. It could be a twin soul, right? But then you also, something I've learned is you also have to look at the other person and see how did they react to the connection. What are they doing? Has it changed them? Because if it's changed you in a beautiful way, but not them, maybe it's not. But it's something beautiful here. You need to be aware that you've got heartbreak energy with a 3 of Swords and 5 of Swords energy, which can be like ego and self. A lot of this is on the side, like it could come up if you're not careful. So there may be a purpose to that. These energies could come up for healing. So beware of how this energy may affect your ego. The list, not tonight, Jane. I'm going to reopen it. I had to just close it for tonight, but I'll be back on either tomorrow night or Friday at the latest, guys. Hey, Jane. So be aware that you may be experiencing things in this connection that make you really question your sense of self or your how others perceive you for whatever reason. And it's also going to cause you to deal with some of your past heartbreak. That's the 3 of Swords. And it definitely, this Three of Swords feels like it's about heartbreak way back from the past. So things are going to come up in this connection as it progresses that are going to probably bring up a lot of the stuff that you've dealt with in other relationships, and that's okay. You're being sort of called to be the Queen of Cups in this situation, Karunch. So to me, that means that you're being called to be very nurturing, very open, very sort of welcoming with your heart, and to almost an Empress level, but not quite, because the Empress sometimes allows people to take advantage. But she's strong enough that she knows her proper boundaries. This Queen of Cups is not. You don't want to get to the point where you're having to really go into seclusion and whole days by yourself because of anyone draining your energy. Because there's a risk here of someone becoming an energy vampire type of thing, not on purpose, but just because anytime you're being guarded to nurture and give, someone else can take too much. So beware of this relationship staying equal and balanced and not taking it too far, okay? But I do see really good things here. I mean, just remember, because those cards were kind of like gnarly. They felt tough. But these are the first two cards that came out for the connection. This is beautiful, right? And that's a major arcana. So if nothing else, you'll always be able to look at this connection and go, oh man, I'm so thankful that in a way, something about this person was like a rebirth that kind of, I always used to say this to my twin soul, it's like it brings you back to life, because it truly does. In a way, it's hard to understand or explain to anyone else until they've experienced it. So keep focused on the good things and stay grateful. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Staying grateful, it's like a magic. There's something truly magical about suddenly shifting your energy to being grateful. Truly, try it. I mean, shift it, stay grateful. When the tests come up, instead of going, this is so frustrating, remind yourself to go, oh man, I'm so grateful that this person came into my life and that I'm now experiencing this test in which I can grow from, and see how your perception and the experience changes. So good outlook, but tests are going to come. Tests are definitely going to come. So just know that. Yeah, crazy in a good way, right? All right, guys, I'm out of here for tonight. I will be back. I will be back. And that is not just a threat, that is a promise. Guys, the class is still open for the Twin Soul Group. We're starting Sunday night at 7. We still have 2 spots left if you're interested. It's $222. $222. If you decide to take one of those last spots, it's $222. Where it's a 6-week course. I'm not going to get on here and talk too much about it again. 6-week course, $222. It's limited seating. It's a twin soul sort of group course, everything trying to get ourselves in alignment. If you feel you're on a twin soul journey, $222, send it to the Cash App listed or the PayPal. And in the notes section, make sure you include your email, because that is how you'll be getting your itinerary and all that stuff. Bye, guys. Have a great night.